So before I start with anything, I want to remind you that this machine goes in an algorithm, and this algorithm specifically is with the brand Technogen. Now, when we talk about this is important because it is not the machine error. The stats can go up and down, and we see that like, oh my gosh, this influences that. I want to remind you it's not the machine itself, it is you. You are the person, you are the human error that has different lifestyles going on, different foods going on, and different workout routines. And that is what's going to affect this. This goes on algorithms and it is not wrong in terms of it's an electrical impulse and it measures everything in your body based on electrical current that goes through your body up and down. Now, I always start with agua corporal. I always start with water, but for this specific machine, I've noticed that there's a tendency. So I'm always going to start now with my weight. So my weight has been going down. There's a downward tendency, which has been phenomenal. So we're going to start with actually on Thursday. So Thursday, 6th of November, specifically, again, this is my weight. So the 6th of November, I was at 62.9, which is phenomenal. But then on Friday, I didn't weigh myself between these 2 points, by the way. So this is Thursday and this is Saturday. And I had buttercream frosting. I am lactose intolerant. So this point and this point, for sure, I'm going to have a lot of water retention. But not only that, on this point, I'm going to show it. So 62.9 all the way up to 65.2. In 2 days, there's no way that I went up by 2.3 kilograms. What happened is I did this measurement after eating. So there is food in my stomach. On top of that, I had the buttercream frosting. So there was an increase of 2.3 kilograms, not because I gained fat. There's no way. It would just be the buttercream frosting along with the food that I had just had that day. Now, the very next day on Sunday, I did this fasted, no food or water, and it was at 63.5. I lost 1.7 kilograms in 24 hours, literally. Or actually less than 24 hours, because we see that this was at 6:37 and this was taken at noon the next day. So in less than 24 hours, I lost 1.7 kilograms. That is water. And then to continue the tendency, because I increased water retention here, this is because of food and buttercream frosting and a couple of desserts and bad reaction. I am now losing that water weight. So I'm at 63.2 all the way down to 62.6. So in just a couple of days, I went from 65.2, this is with the food intake, all the way down to today, which is 62.6. Okay, that is today. Now, if we eliminate this, because this is a little bit of a deviated, what do you call it? There's a word for it. We're going to try to eliminate this point right here. The increase in water. So 62.9 down to 62.6. Fantastic. So there's a downward tendency. This is important. This is crucial. So now we're going to go to agua corporal. Agua corporal is the water. So I would normally see, this is what I really wanted to test. So mind you, remember here, if we go back, peso, on the 8th of November versus here for the water on the 8th of November, which is this point here. I thought that there would be an increase in water. There should be an increase in water, and there wasn't. There was a slight increase, 0.2%, and we can always see the kilograms. I prefer looking at the kilograms over everything. So 0.2 kilograms, okay? And then there was a decrease right here. I'm going to talk about this decrease in just a moment because this is indicative. But if we go to masa grasa, which is body fat. So in body fat, on the 8th of November, we see that increase. So this does make sense. So from 13.5 to 15 kilograms. This here, right here, this is not fat. Even though it says it's masa grasa corporal, it is water retention. There is no way that I increase that much. And there is a downward tendency if you just look at the graph itself, but still. Okay, this point right here, especially if this was just yesterday. So yesterday 15.3 and today 13.5. There are a couple reasons for this. Okay, so let's go back to the water. because I really want to start here. So here on Sunday, I had a really heavy lifting day. So right after I took the stats, I did hip thrust, Romanian deadlifts, walking lunges, and then two other exercises. So I did a really heavy lifting day right after the stats. So this agua corporal went up slightly, and that makes sense. 0.7. Okay. On this day, on Monday, I ran 5 kilometers. I didn't strength train and I ran 5 kilometers. I did not strength train. I went for my body stats the very next day. I lost that much water from just running. What happens and what correlates here is the body fat. So because I lost water, there was no water in my muscles. I did cardio, and it kind of took away. And then also, well, I'll get into that later, but I did have a rest day. So my body fat went up from 13.7. So remember, I had a heavy lifting day right after this, and it went up 15.3. Okay, well, there's a better comparison with water weight and fat than the muscle itself. And then when we go to muscle muscular. So Monday 10th, remember Monday 10th? This was the day that I ran 5K. So before I ran the 5K, I did a heavy lifting day. So here I did my measurements, I did the lifting, and then the very next day it says that I have more muscle. That makes sense because the machine can't tell the difference between water in your muscle and the muscle fibers. So the volume of the muscle itself is indicative here. But then I ran 5K. And the very next day it says that I've lost a lot of muscle. So it says that I've gone from 27.4 to 27.4 to 26.1. Okay, I didn't lose 1 kilo of muscle, but I did lose a lot of the water weight that was in my muscles. So this is masa muscular. And then I'm back, even though I did a rest day here, so this is a full rest day, I'm back up to 27.3. So it's safe to say that I have around 27 kilograms of muscle versus, no, we just did that. Here. Okay. Versus here, so I did the run, I lost a lot of water, and it says that I went up 15.3, but today I'm back down to 13.5. So this just goes to show there's a lot of components that are interfering with the body stats, and I need you to know this.